So after watching the shape video, you know about the two categories of shapes. Okay? Geometric, which are the shapes that follow lots of different rules depending on the shape. And then you have organic, which are free. They are free from rules. They're also called free-form shapes. So in the shape section, which is our next section, we will be creating a mosaic type look out of geometric shapes, okay? Which means you're going to have some more kind of straight lines. So you do want to make sure that there's enough contrast. So for example, I finished this texture video already, but I felt like I couldn't see this apart from the background, like if I was far away. And so I added a little more value here, and it gets lighter kind of as it goes farther away. I also kind of added a tiny little cast shadow just so that you can see the cup better. Okay, so I want to keep that going. So you really still want your object to stand out. So I'm probably going to do a very light color inside of my shapes, and then I'll do a dark color on the outside. The background will be white, so you don't want to leave the inside of any of your shapes white. And I will likely outline all of my shapes in my pen, in my marker, before I color them in. Okay? You want to leave space between your shapes, okay? And you want them to stay fairly consistent in size. It's okay if they're not all perfectly geometric, okay? You can see that some of mine almost look like a combination of geometric with organic. Typically, mosaics do have straight edges because of how they're cut. They don't always get cut straight, but for the most part, they do. So you are going to fill in these boundaries, leaving space between. I'm doing this lightly in pencil. I will be going over it with my permanent marker. You want to leave space to the edges too. So in a typical mosaic, the space between would be filled with grout, which is sometimes darker. Okay, notice how when I get to this edge, I am following the exact edge of my object. Okay, so I would definitely say you want to do that. If you want to start by kind of going around this edge, I'm going to do the pieces in my background just a little bit bigger, but I still want to leave that space between the edge of my object and where my shapes start. So I'm still leaving that edge. Now I'm going to outline these in my skinny Sharpie. This guy right here. I'm going to erase the pencil, and I will be coloring these shapes in like maybe a medium to light color, and I will be coloring these shapes in a very dark color, just so I keep that contrast. All right, so I have finished outlining and coloring in this section. Of course, don't forget I did erase all of my pencil, even that line, that edge of my cup there, before I started coloring anything in. So my object is a light object, which is why I chose to color this light and the background dark. If your object is dark, I would color this dark and leave the background a light color, okay? But you just can't leave your shapes white.